welcome to Scrappin with Sheri, and happy Valentine's Day. Now, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I know a lot of people do not celebrate Valentine's Day. They don't take pictures. This is not a big day for you. But I want to show you a couple of ideas that don't necessarily apply to Valentine's Day and hearts and loves and kissy kissy and all that kind of stuff. Now, this first one kind of does. This is the Sweet on You collection from Creative Memories. And I love this collection because it's a mixture of reds, pinks, some neutral, and it's got some really cute stuff in it. So I want you to look at this, even if you're not thinking Valentine's Day. If you have a little child in your life, this is a great collection because this pink paper with the little red hearts is adorable. This white paper has little pink lines in it with some little bitty hearts in the corners that you can't hardly see. The back of this pink paper is this pretty red right here. This collection comes with a paper pack, some stickers, and then there was a trio card kit. It had 3 cards that came with it, and this giant embellishment. I don't want you to think I'm super creative, but this frame came totally assembled. So all I had to do was put my picture behind it, and that one was ready to go. Quick, easy layout. Now, this is one of the card fronts from the trio card kit, and I could have cut it down to make it smaller, but I had room on my page for that, so I went ahead and used it. Of course, I used foam squares to pop those strawberries up, but really cute pages in a very little amount of time. Now, a couple of more pages using the Sweet on You collection. This is one more, and you can see the brown that's in this. The brown is actually the back side of this paper. This paper has chocolate-covered strawberries, donuts, suckers, cookies. I mean, it would be good for any kind of sweet treats, birthday parties. I know a lot of people do the birthday parties where they have donut themes or sweet treat themes or something like that. This sticker with all the little donuts on it is out of the sticker pack from Sweet on You. And the title, I'm Donuts for You, is just cute as it can be. Again, here is one of the card fronts from the card trio. So I love the way that looks. This is just put on pink shimmer cardstock. And then one more. This one again is the paper from that package. I used a hot fudge background here, but this and this are the same piece of paper, just front and back. And I used my wavy trimmer to create this, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute. There's nothing on here except this card front. So this page could work well for a wedding, for an anniversary, just for, I mean, what if you go out and eat ice cream and you love ice cream? You could do a page using these colors, this collection, and quick and easy, and these cards are really cute. Now, if you're a card maker, they're great to send. It's $5.50 for a 3-pack, includes your envelopes. It'll take you about, on top, so it'll take you 15 minutes to put 3 cards together, and you've got great cards to send out. Now, what if you're not all about the pinks and the reds and the lovey-dovey and all that kind of stuff? Well, if you know me, you know I love traveling. So I decided I would create a Valentine layout. And I say a Valentine layout, but it's just going to be a love layout because I love traveling. Now, the new Passport to Adventure collection is great. I just opened it yesterday, and it's in navies, greens, this mustardy yellow, a really dark teal, this gray dusty blue. Love the coloring in this. But already I've made enough pages that this is the only paper I had left over. And I want to use it to make a layout. But I started looking through what I could pull to go with it for my backgrounds. And I found this older pack. It's called I'm Grateful Too. This has been one of my favorite packs because, you know, I love the blues. This dot has lots of different colors in it. And the colors actually go really well with that. This blue goes really well with that. It's got a stripe, and I love the stripes. It's got this stripe that I'm not as wild about, but the colors are good. Even this lighter color picks out this bluey teal right here. And there's a mustard color in here that is fantastic with that. And this just has little plus marks all over it. So it would be a great complimentary page to go along with this. So if you've got this old collection, I Am Grateful Too, laying around, and you don't know what to do with it, most of the papers in it looked really great with the Passport to Adventure collection. Now, you know me, I'm going with the blue, and those are going to be my 2 background pages. So you need one regular page, or one double-sided page where you like both sides, and you need 2 background papers. Now I'm going to slide my background papers out of the way for a minute, and I'm going to pull out my 12-inch trimmer. And using this, I'm going to have to put the arm out for this because I'm going to split this paper right in half. I'm going to cut it at the 6-inch mark, which gives me those 2 pieces of paper. And we are finished with the 12-inch trimmer for now. So I've got these 2 sheets of paper, and the next part is pretty important. I want to flip one of those so my patterns that are the same are face to face with each other. I have the opposite pattern on the outside on both sides. Now I'm going to take something I don't use very often, and that is my decorative trimmer. You don't see me pull it out very often, and it's not because I don't like it. I just tend to do quick and easy, and you know me, I'm trying something new this year. I'm going to try to do more in 24. So I've pulled out my decorative trimmer, and I'm going to use this really wavy edge. The swell edge works just as well, but I'm going with my really wavy because I want that look on this particular page. So when I lift the arm up, now these papers are stacked, remember that. I want the cuts to be the same. I'm going to slide my paper in, but instead of, well, I can't even get it slid in great. Instead of, you know what, let's pop a little repositionable adhesive on there. That'll keep these 2 papers together while we're cutting them, and it's not going to hurt anything. I think it will just help make this a little bit easier. Repositionable, remember. I'm going to slide these 2 papers in, but instead of lining it up straight like I normally would, I'm going to give it a little oomph. I'm going to turn it a little bit. Now, is there a magic number for this? No, not necessarily. But for me, I found that if I have one corner on the 1-inch line right here and the other corner hitting the top right here, that's a good spot for me. And I'm just going to make that cut with this decorative trimmer. So I've got that piece, and I'm going to set it aside. And then I'm just going to take this. Remember, I've got these double pages. They're right together. And I'm just going to slide it over about... I could give you all kinds of measurements, but I'm going to say 2 tick marks, which means here I'm looking at 1, 2. There's a little tick mark here, and the same up here. Now, I've got a piece of washi tape on mine that shows me where to cut that, but I'm just going to make that little cut there. And that just gives me this really thin strip, and then this one I'm just going to take out, and we are through with the decorative trimmer. Now, here comes the fun part, and the part where you get to show off your individuality, I guess. I'm going to spread out my background pages. These are, remember, from that I Am Grateful pack. And then I'm going to lay these out and just decide how I want them to look. Now, you know, I've got that repositionable tape right there. I can't even feel it right now. It was sticking, though. I'm just going to rub that off, and it just kind of rubs off like little dots of sticky, but they're coming right off. They're not affecting the look of my paper at all. And I'm going to decide how I want to put this layout down on my background pages. Now, I could go this way. We can flip these to go right along that. And that's why we needed to cut these together, to make sure that our cuts were exactly the same. If we had tried to cut them separately, I'm not sure we would have done quite as well. And I can lay these on the outside edge. Now, you notice this is very directional. We've got all these little icons on here, but they all worked out right. They're all going up and down. Now, I could switch it. I could do something like this, and then flip this around if I wanted less pattern. But I really like the look of this white against the blue with just a hint of green in it. That hint of green is a nice look. And doing it this way gives me lots of versatility when it comes to what colors I want to matte with, what colors my pictures are on it. I don't have pictures in mind for this just yet, So I feel like this is a really good look. Now, I'm not going to take the time to stick that down because you don't have to watch me use tape. I would use repositionable tape on these little bitty strips, but on the bigger ones, regular tape is fine, and it won't take but just a minute to tape that down. But I wanted to show you one more idea using some of the pieces from this Passport to Adventure collection. Now, I pulled some of the mats from it, and I used my little circle maker. This is the 1 3/4 circle punch. And I used the circle punch to cut out little circles from the mats from the mat pack. And I've already pre-cut a couple, but I want to show you what I did with them after that, and then you'll see what we're going to put together. Because, you know, it is Valentine's Day. We need to do something a little special. So I'm just going to take these little circles, and I have discovered the best way to cut circles in half is to let them fall in this divot right here. Now, I didn't come up with that on my own. You know, I watch people, I listen to people. I love learning new things. So, if I let that fall into my divot right there and line it up, I've got the perfect circle. Now, it's not going to cut all the way to that outside edge because this is a tiny little circle. So, you may have to snip it with your scissors. If you had a circle that's a little bit bigger, the curve would fit a little higher up or a little lower down in this divot. So you'd be able to cut all the way through. But I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of these circles. And if you look with your zero centering trimmer, you can tell on the lines if it's lined up or not. Really easy to line it up. And I just think that is a wonderful thing for circles. Now, do I know how many of these I need? No, because I haven't put this layout together all the way yet. But I'm just going to cut all these little circles I had cut out of scraps, and then we'll play with them and see what happens. All right, and I'm going to have to go back with my scissors and just snip these real quick. Now, I've mentioned, you know, I love traveling, but we need to make a love page out of this. So we're going to take this half circle, and we're going to go back and line it up. And I mentioned the zero centering. If you will look, you can line it up on the same marks on each side, and you can get that circle perfectly cut in half. And we're cutting these into little fourths. So I'm going to go ahead and do several of those. If you will notice, when I'm cutting these, I'm pushing up with my blade rather than down, because I don't want to pull the circle away from the edges here that are holding it in place. And I feel like that's probably going to be enough. Let me cut one more grain, and then we'll just see what we've ended up with. So to put this idea together, I've pulled a sheet of navy cardstock. I think the navy looks really nice with this, and it's dark enough against this background that I think it's going to be pretty. And I've got all these little circles that I have cut into fourths. Now, I'm going to start by making the top of this design, and I'm going to use 2 circles that match for this. So I'm going to put this here and here. I'm going to stick another one in the middle, and these colors are from the mats, so they coordinate with the colors in my design there. But if you're really paying good attention to the fact that we're doing this on Valentine's Day, you're probably already seeing where I'm headed with this. I'm making a heart out of these little circles. And I thought it would be fun just because there are little circles all over this page. And I mean, what a great way to keep the circles going. This does challenge my brain a little bit. I'm having to think about where they go and what's going on and all that. And then you slide this one right here that creates this nice little circle design. Now, I am going to go ahead and stick this down, because then I want to show you how I would use this as an embellishment on my page. And obviously I've got way too many circles, but I could make another heart if I want to. So let's use our repositionable tape to stick this down. And I'm only choosing repositionable on this because I want to make sure that the little points are adhered well. And I'm going to leave just a little border when I stick it down. Not a lot. I don't want a ton of that navy showing, so I'm going to scoot it on my page as I actually stick it down. The repositionable is also going to give you the ability to work them around, you know, if you don't get your points exactly straight, like I just didn't. It might be easier to start with that middle one rather than those two outside ones, huh? But it's a pretty quick idea, and if you wanted a giant heart on your page, you could do that using the custom cutting system, using the circle maker. You could make whatever size hearts you want to just by making the circles and then cutting them into quarters. I do like the variety of colors in this, but here again, you know, if you wanted a more monochromatic look, you could just use one color and let your background paper show through a little bit, and it would be pretty as well. But a quick little layout here. Now, obviously, I've got a centerpiece open right there, but I pulled some embellishments, and I think I can fix this. I'm also noticing that my heart kind of leans a little bit, so using my 12-inch trimmer, I'm just going to cut this off the main page first. And then I'll even up my spacing around it. And I'm going to do that with my little personal trimmer. And you could do this with your 12-inch. I just feel like I have a little more control on these smaller pieces with my personal trimmer instead. Now, I know that side is straight, so I'm going to go ahead and trim the rest from this side. Cutting in pretty closely. Now, you know, you could fussy cut it if you want to and make it really close. Fussy cutting is not my idea of fun today, so I'm going with it that way. And we've evened up the spacing around that. Now, how would I use this embellishment on my page? Let's go back to this page layout here. And remember, I didn't stick it yet, but I will very soon. Now, there are a lot of different places you could use this embellishment. And, you know, my first thought is, well, let's use it right down here where we've got all this extra space. But look at it coming off the edge of this. Or if I want it to be the beginning of this page layout, I could use it here. I could use it here even to make that seem a little bit further out on that border. But I feel like we need something to just finish this out a little bit. So I pulled a couple of stickers, again, from the Passport to Adventure collection. This What a View, I think, is adorable. And the little camera. I didn't really pull any teals in this heart, but there is that teal color here. So I thought about just adding this What a View right there in the middle of that, using my foam squares, of course. So let me grab those. Now, as I'm grabbing those foam squares, I'm looking at this and I think, you know, this navy cardstock around here looks kind of bland. It's kind of boring to me. So let me just lay my stickers down for a second. And I want to just add some detailing around this cardstock. I'm using this silver metallic pen. And I'm just going to make some dashes and dots around the outside edge of this. Just to make it look a little more something. I don't know. I think it just makes it look a little more stitched maybe. And that's really cute considering that the heart idea was actually from a quilt square. So we'll just kind of finish up our stitching here. And I think it makes that navy blue cardstock not look so boring. Now, if you're using these metallic-y pens, it does take a little second for it to dry. So I'm trying really hard not to touch it with my fingers as I'm going around. But what do you think of that? I think that just adds just what that cardstock needed to not look quite so boring. And that was the silver metallic pen. Now I'm going to add this here. And probably I need to stick this one piece right here. So when I add my little embellishments on there, it's not going to move around and mess that up. And that's just going right to the edge. For a very different look, you could slide it in from the edge on either side and have the blue show down this side too. Lots of options with this layout. We'll hope that silver metallic is dry now, won't we? If not, we're going to see it on that page. Yeah, that dried pretty quickly. And I'm just lining this up with the bottom of the page here. And then we're back to our What a View. I'm going to put one big foam square in the middle of that and add that right here. Now, I do love the way that it takes up the centerpiece of that heart, and it just ties in that color right there. It's bringing in this bluey color here. It's bringing in a lot of stuff. And then we've also got our little camera that we could add right down here. Now, we don't want to add a ton of stuff because we don't want to lose the heart. And, you know, I was looking, I thought if there was a sticker that said love to travel, wouldn't that be perfect for this page? But I didn't see one. So, you know, I love to take pictures. Love the views, so it works for me. I could go either direction with this, and I actually kind of like that. I like the little flash from the camera sticking out on this side. So I'm going to go right there with that. But look what a cute layout. We used our straight trimmer to cut the 6-inch pieces, our decorative trimmer on a slant. We used the circle punch. We've used our stickers and our foam squares. We've used the metallic pen. But what a cute layout. And I don't even have any pictures for this page yet, but I'm sure I will before long. So this is this page almost finished. I'll tape it down and then we'll have a picture of it for you to look at. I hope you've enjoyed this Valentine's edition of our Scrappin' with Sheri. I hope you've gotten some ideas that aren't just about love and hearts and kissy stuff, but more about the things you enjoy in your life. Hope you'll try some of these ideas. Pop me some comments. Let me know what you're trying. I love getting feedback from you. I appreciate the feedback on the little reindeer. That was so outside my wheelhouse, but it was kind of fun. This one, again, we use something we don't use very often, the decorative trimmer. So remember, we're trying more in 24. So I hope you'll try these layouts. Let me know in the comments what you're doing, what you're enjoying, and if there are things that you need to be encouraged to try a little bit more. Maybe there's a tool you haven't used because you're not sure what to do with it. Let me know that in the comments. You might just see it in a video coming up. So until next time, happy scrapping.